So this movie is a film that I've been wanting to watch for a really long time, ever since I first heard about it, and it's called Next Sohee. Unfortunately for me, they didn't show this film like in any of my local theaters, so I tried to look for it online, but even that was really hard to do. But Amazon Prime, thank you Prime, I love you even more now. Amazon Prime decided to put this movie on their website so anybody can just watch it now, so thank the Lord for that. Actually, this movie first came out back in the Cannes Film Festival back in 2022, and it was actually the first Korean movie to close out the Cannes Film Festival. And apparently it received like a 7-minute standing ovation. So automatically I knew that this movie was legitimate. I mean, even reading about the story, I knew that this movie was going to be good. Now, this movie stars Bae Doona, who's actually one of Korea's most legendary actresses. I've seen her for like the past 20 years in films, in television series. Like, she is just a phenomenal actress. So I highly suggest you guys check out her other films. And the other actress that stars in this film, her name is Kim Si-eun. She was apparently in Squid Game, which I did not even know about that. And I looked it up. She was like player number 95, I think. But again, she was great in this film. Both actresses were great. Now, I am gonna give a few minor spoilers here and there, but it's the only way for me to talk about this film like as best as I can. So if you don't like any spoilers, even minor ones, then just don't watch this video at all and just go directly watch the movie. So this film is actually split into two parts. Part 1 is around the character Sohee and who she is and pretty much her story. Part 2 revolves around Bae Doona's character. She plays a detective and her name is Yujin. So she comes in like mostly in the second half of the movie. Alright, so here's part 1. So you have the character Sohee. She's this very charismatic and bubbly teenager who loves to dance as a hobby. She actually got an externship job at this call center. So an extern is someone that comes from school and goes directly into like a line of work. It could be any kind of job. And what this person does is that they usually shadow an actual employee while at the company. So Sohee pretty much gets hired as an extern at this Korean call center company. And what she does is that she pretty much like talks to customers and provides internet service for them. Her main job is to make sure that they don't cancel their subscription, or she just tries to upsell them. That's pretty much what she does as her work. Now, immediately Sohee hates her job. Like, she gets verbal abuse every single day from customers. Like, they like just cuss her out, they harass her. They get pissed off because they want to cancel their internet service, but it's Sohee's job to make sure that they don't cancel. And it's essential for her to like make sure they don't cancel their subscriptions because it makes her call center like look good. Like, it's all about competition. They're like competing with other call centers. And I think the one that she's at, they're like ranked at the bottom. So she has like a lot of pressure to perform well so that it will look better for her. It'll make her bosses happy and it'll make her call center like just jump up to first place. But again, she's dealing with verbal abuse like literally every single day and every single call. She deals with sexual harassment. She gets into fight with her coworkers because like she's outperforming them and they're just like jealous of her. There's even moments where she fights with her boss because they're underpaying her. They consistently underpaid her. They kept lying to her. Oh yeah, we'll pay you, but we'll pay you like in a couple months from now. And the reason why the bonuses are always delayed is that they're afraid that once she gets it, that she's just gonna quit the company. And they don't want that to happen. And she was actually doing really good at her job. Like, she was actually the top performer at that call center, but the company wouldn't give her like any of her incentives. Like, they wouldn't give her the bonuses that she earned. So she's dealing with all this shit. She's getting depressed. She starts drinking heavily. She like bitches and fights with her best friend about life and stuff. I'm not gonna lie, this movie was really depressing. Even I started drinking soju during the movie. Like, that's how depressing this movie was. I mean, even when I first read what the movie was about, I knew it was gonna be a really sad movie because this is the reality for a lot of workers out there in Korea. And I'm pretty sure worldwide, even in this country, like, workers are always taken advantage of. And this is something that a lot of us, myself included, can totally relate to. Her work environment was so toxic. And again, there's gonna be minor spoilers here and there. So if you don't like it, just skip over or just don't watch this video at all. But her work environment was so bad that eventually her own manager had committed suicide, because the manager was also dealing with the same problems that his employees were. He was getting cussed out by customers. His boss was always on his back to make sure that he performed well, because again, their call center was like at the bottom of the totem pole. So it just got to the point where the manager felt so much pressure that and it was really sad because the manager was the only one that actually cared about Sohee and all the other employees. Like, her character shifted like dramatically. She wasn't as bubbly anymore. She lost all her charisma. She hated going to work. She like complained to her parents and her friends. I mean, even I was getting stressed out just watching her situation. Now, again, this is gonna be a major spoiler, but I just have to say it because it's the only way that I could talk about part 2. Ultimately, the pressure got so bad for her, Sohee actually commits suicide. Like, she kills herself. Like, that's pretty much the first half of the movie. Part 2 revolves around Detective Eugen's character. When she first hears about the case and about the poor girl that ended her life, she goes to visit her workplace to see what kind of environment it was. And of course, the manager, being the bitch that she was being like really tight-lipped about what happened and like being very vague in her answers about why Sohee had committed suicide. Detective Eugen even went to visit the higher-ups of the company to try and see what happened. Like, she had to talk to the lawyers, she had to talk to the president, and they all lied to her face about what happened. How Sohee was just a rebellious girl and this is her fault and blah, 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 blah. And it was her fault that she ended her life. And if she couldn't handle the job, then maybe she should have just quit. And Detective Eugen was like having none of that. So after that, she goes and talks to the school that Sohee went to. So apparently this is like a bigger system than any of us could have realized. So long story short, all of these schools, they would send these students to different areas, like to different jobs as like externs. And in return, the companies that hire these students, they would give the schools like incentives. They would give them money. The schools would also get like a bigger budget to keep the teachers and to make sure that the school doesn't shut down. So in essence, the schools act like they're like an employment agency. Like, they would send students to different job fields. Even though the conditions are really bad, the schools only care about the numbers, because the more students they send out to all these companies, the more money that the school gets in return, in terms of budget, in terms of incentives, in terms of like keeping a good relationship with the companies themselves. So this way, the companies, they have like a constant flow of students that they can hire as employees. This is a way for companies to make sure that they have a constant flow of students that they can hire as externs, and they take like full advantage of them. Apparently, a lot of these students, they're also signing like these really shady contracts. And by signing these contracts, they're like getting really underpaid, and like they're not getting any of the bonuses that they're owed. I did not feel good watching this film. I felt nothing but sadness, dreadness, anxiety. Just watching this film, it just impacted me in such a sad way. And what makes this movie even more depressing is because this is like the actual reality for a lot of people worldwide. This movie is actually based on a true story about a high school student in Korea, and she actually killed herself after a few months working at a call center. Honestly, after watching this film, I have so much respect now for people that work at a call center, because if this is your daily life and what you have to deal with every single day, you guys have my respect for the work that you do. So again, this movie, the performances were powerful. The two lead actresses, they were phenomenal in their roles. The story was just very eye-opening. I highly recommend this movie, especially if you worked at jobs that you really hated. One thing I do question is why she just didn't quit her job. Like, throughout the movie, there were moments where she could have quit, you know, and it's not like her parents were like not well off. They seemed like a middle-class family, and she was just in high school and she loved to dance. So I don't know why she just didn't quit, go back to dancing, and just find a different job. It's not like she had a contract where she had to stay for a certain duration of time. So for whatever reason, she decided to stick it out, but ultimately it just cost her her life. I highly recommend this movie. It was a very, very powerful movie. You're gonna feel a lot of emotions, man. You're gonna get pissed at a lot of the characters in this film. You're gonna get sad at a lot of moments in this film. You're gonna feel like a rush of emotions. Thank you very much again for watching this movie review. Again, it's a movie that I've wanted to see for a very long time, and I'm glad that Amazon Prime was able to finally put it on their platform. It cost me like $6 to get this movie because it's only available for rent, but it was a $6 worth spending.